Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, your Alexandrian archives. I hope you enjoy your stay. Today we are doing a video that I don't know if people do it, but we're gonna do it anyway. So we are going to do my Penguin Classics collection video. And so I have gathered all the Penguin Classics I have, and this includes the deluxe edition. Ooh, my copy. Yikes. Okay, some of these are falling apart, some of these are like, they look brand spanking new because I haven't really cracked them open. So I will talk about each one of these and why I got them, where I got them, etc, etc, etc. Grab a snack, grab a drink, make yourself comfortable, and let's get to it. This is not in any specific order. Yeah, it's not in any particular order, so we're just gonna go off of what we have. And the reason why this shelf is ever so empty is because a majority of my Penguin Classics were on the shelf, so that's why it is empty. And I have more Penguin Classics than I do Oxford Classics, so once I have enough Oxford Classics to do a video, I will also do a video about my Oxford Classics collection. I don't think I have any Penguin Classics downstairs. I believe I do not, because I believe most of these are like ancient text adjacent. So yeah, let's get to it. First book I have is Cicero Selected Works. So I got this for my Roman Lit and Culture class, I believe in second year, and I did read some of these as was required for the class. Did I enjoy it? Not really. I'm not an ancient Rome girly. I am full on a ancient Greece girly, but Cicero had some interesting thoughts, I guess. Yeah, so that's that. The next one I have is a book you're going to be seeing a lot of in different translations over the course of this video. Sort of. Homer's The Odyssey. This is the Rio translation, so this reads as prose like a novel instead of poetry. Although the Odyssey is poetry, it's just easier, and I'd recommend this for beginners if you find the poetry aspect of the Odyssey intimidating. So this is the Rio translation. The lengths I went for this, guys, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So this is the updated Rio translation, and it was the very first public Penguin Classic to be published. It has itself achieved classic status. So, very nice. I have a sticky tabs in this. And because it is my most sort of used Penguin Classics, I actually have a little library thing in the back with my stamp and the name and the title and the name of the author. There we go. That's that. The next one is a more modern classic, and it is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I remember reading this in, I think, grade 10 English class, and I remember not really enjoying it, but I've been wanting to get back into the sort of the dark academia-esque classics, and this is definitely one of them, so I'll update you on how that goes. And it's actually not particularly long. I remember not liking it in grade 10, I believe, and I was not enjoying it. I think I was just too young to understand what Shelley was trying to get to, and I think now, as I have grown older and perhaps a little bit wiser, I will understand what she was getting into, and I will like this much more. The next one I have is another Homer translation. Woohoo! The Iliad, and this is a translation by Robert Fagles, and this is a poetry translation. I got the second hand for $6.99, $7, and in bookstores it says $15.50, but I don't believe that. It does not cost $15.50. Also, these are really hard to find in Indigo, which is ridiculous, but it's mainly the newer translations that are easier to find, aka the Wilson translation, which is the newest Iliad translation. I'm waiting for the paperback translation of the Iliad so that I can continue growing my Iliad collection. Yeah, so very excited for this. The next one I have is one that as mentioned before, there are some that I haven't really cracked open at all, and they look very, very brand new. And this is one of them because I started reading it on my Kobo and it just never transferred over to the physical one. And it's The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandrian. And this is a chunker. It is very long. But honestly, from what I've read, I am really enjoying it so far. It's like a revenge story. There's a love plot line too. And I am just so excited to continue this. Right now it's on pause because I'm reading Lord of the Rings. Like, that is my main that's my main focus right now. But I love this cover. I just love this painting. Yeah, really excited to continue this once I finish Lord of the Rings. The next one is something I don't know if I will read it, and I frankly don't know a lot about it. My cousin just sent me a picture being like, my university is giving it away for free. Would you like a copy? And I said, why not? Because then it adds to my Penguin Classics collection. And that is Paradise Lost by John Milton. Do I know entirely what this is about? Absolutely not. Will I read it? If classes require me to read it? I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. The next one is one that's actually falling apart, and this was another gift from my uncle. It is the Shahnameh, or the Persian Book of Kings by Ferdowsi, and the Persian Book of Kings is the book of the Persianite world. It is like our Bible, basically. And it tells the story of the creation of the world. Oh, this one doesn't have the beginning parts, like the creation and about wisdom and about the world and stuff and how God created the world. It starts with the first kings, but the Russian translation, which I will be using for a thing, does have it, so there will be some comparisons. And basically this talks about the story of pre-Islamic Persia from the mythical creation of the world and the dawn of Persian civilization through the 7th century Arab conquest. And this is translated by Dick Davis, who is an incredibly famous, and rightfully so, Persian to English, Farsi to English translator. He has translated many Persian texts, and this is one of his. This is probably the best translation. And it's falling apart because I sometimes just throw books into my bag and don't really care for it. But I kind of like how worn it looks because it means that it's loved. And I'm not very far into it because it is a chunker, but I'm very excited to get further into it. And this has stories of love, of betrayal, of good versus evil, of, you know, princes and princesses. And if you meet a Persian, whether it be someone from Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, or outside of that, of those countries as diaspora, they will likely have, it will either be them that has a name from this story, or they will have some family member with a name from the story. Because these characters are so not only powerful, but they're so famous that it transcends into naming your kids after these characters to hopefully give them a good life. And the next one I have is also falling apart because I love this text so much. The Histories by Herodotus. This is a translation by Tom Holland. This is the Penguin Deluxe Edition. And it is well loved. I haven't read all of it, and I don't love the deckled edges. I do not love the deckled edges, but I like this. I really like Tom Holland's stuff, his translations. I think they're very accessible, and he is one of the primary translations I usually go for. And the Histories is basically non-fiction, and it is written by Herodotus, and it tells the story of like the Greco-Persian Wars and all the in-betweens, and it is and each book is dedicated to a muse. So I believe there are 9 books if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yes, 9 books in context to the 9 muses of poetry and all that stuff. So that's that, and the last book I have is my first edition of the Odyssey, which is the Robert Fagles translation, and if that name sounds familiar, that is the same translator as my Penguin Classics Iliad copy. And this is also the Penguin Classics Deluxe edition, and this was my first copy of the Odyssey from my uncle when I first got into the whole Greek mythology thing. And I don't love the Deck of Ages, but I have to deal with this. And this is, again, poetry translation, not prose, for easier read. This might be controversial, though. I would recommend the Ryu translation. And actually, lastly, I completely forgot to grab this one. Lastly, I actually have a second Ryu translation, which is this vintage copy of the Odyssey that I got for New Year's, and it's basically the same as my Penguin Classics Ryu translation, except this is like the original one that they first published, and it says 60 cents at the bottom. These are ridiculously hard to find in Canada, at least in Ontario, and I just love the smell of this. It's so good. I just love the smell of it. And these are ridiculously hard to find in Canada unless you go to like a specialized first editions bookstore, which are equally rare, but they're apparently very common in like the UK. So I think that's my sign to save up and move to the UK to find a whole stack of these. And so that is it for this video. Comment down below what you think, which ones I should get next, what ancient texts I should get next, and let me know if you own any of these and what you think about them. And as usual, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials. All the links will be down below so that you can get these books if you would like. And I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!